Hi students, in this video we will discuss about preprocessor directives. So in C, preprocessor is just a text substitution tool and it instructs the compiler to do required preprocessing before the actual compilation starts. So here in C language the preprocessor begins with the symbol called hash. So this hash, all the preprocessor directives begins with the symbol hash. So here hash is called as a preprocessor directive. So here preprocessor, it is not the part of a compiler. It is a separate step in compilation process. It is a separate step in compilation process. Here we have different preprocessors. Let us see some of the preprocessors. First one is hash define. So here whatever we write with hash define, it substitute a preprocessor. So generally we write this hash define in this way, hash define. So we call it as a macro name and macro value. Wherever we use this macro name, the value will be substituted at that point. Then hash include, it inserts a particular header from another file. That is hash include stdio.h. The complete content, that is content of stdio.h, will be included to that particular file. So hash undef, so which is used to undefine a macro, whatever we have defined earlier. So if you want to undefine, we will use hash undef. Then hash ifdef. So if the macro is defined, then that part of the code will be executed. If macro is not defined, then it goes to the else part. Then similarly hash if not defined, that is if macro is not defined, it will execute. This is opposite of defined. If it is defined, goes to the else part. If not defined, it will execute. Then hash if, that is if the condition is satisfied, then it will be executed. Else it is alternate for if the condition is false, then else part will be executed. This is elif, it is similar to else if. So hash else and hash if is in one statement, that is it is else if. Then hash end if, for every hash if there should be end if statement. Then hash error, so prints error message on standard error. So hash pragma, so issues special commands to the compiler using a standardized addition. Now let us see one example. So here in this we will see, so I will try to show you these three examples, then for the remaining I will show you in another videos. Now let us see the first example, that is hash include. We are already familiar with that, hash include. So hash include stdio.h, hash include stdlib.h. Here this header file can be included in two ways. One is within the angular brackets or within the double quotes. What is the difference between including the header file in angular brackets and within the double quotes? If we include the header file in angular brackets, it will be searched for that file in the include directories of TC. Inside TC there will be a directory called include. Inside include it will be stored. So if we place within the double quotes, first it will search in include directories. If not found, then it will be searched in the current directory. So okay. Now here a simple example, hash include stdio.h. So save, compile and run the program. So it displays the message, how are you? So here header file can be included in angular brackets or within the double quotes. Here predefined header files we can include either in angular brackets or within double quotes. Generally user defined header files we must include in double quotes because those header files will be in our directory. Save. This is hash include. Hash include, it includes the complete contents of that file to a new file. Then so that is about hash include. Okay, from the beginning we are checking about this hash include. Now let us discuss about hash define. This hash define preprocessor directive used to define a constant or a macro substitution. It can use any basic data type, syntax, hash define, macro name and macro value. So generally we write this macro in this form, or hash define can be used in this form. First include the header file, hash include stdio.h. Then generally in our programming we will be using hash define. So macro, this is pi, then 3.14. Then int main, then pi wherever required in our program we can use. Where we use pi generally? For calculating area and perimeter of a circle, area and perimeter. So here you can accept radius equal to, or you can accept some value 5.6, then substitute area of a circle pi into r into r. So this r value either you can accept from the user or you can substitute, assign directly. So then 2 into pi into r. So wherever we use macro, it will replace the value. Here you can see area equal to %f slash n comma area. Now if you take 10, it is easy to calculate. R into r, that is 100, 314 something, you will get the value. Then similarly printf perimeter equal to, that is perimeter of circle equal to printf slash n comma perimeter, and with semicolon. Now at the end of the main, return the function, that is return 1. Save your program. Now compile and run this program. Wherever we use pi macro, what happens? Wherever we use pi, it will replace the value 3.14. This is the macro. Now compile and run this program. Right here 314 something. Suppose if you want to use any value, you can use, so 12.75 r radius. Then compile and run the program. Now r radius is 12.75 into, it will gives you the value. So this is one way. Even the other example I want to show you, small functions can be defined as macros. Like for example, hash define max of, generally we can declare small letters, no problem. So generally macros are defined in capital letters, macro names are defined in capital letters. This is max of a comma b. Then we can write the code here, a greater than b question mark a colon b. That is, wherever macro is there, in place of this macro, this code will be replaced, this value will be replaced. So a greater than b, if it is true, a value will be substituted, otherwise b value will be substituted. Now here you can see with different values. Now declare two variables, int a comma b. Now read two numbers from the user, printf, enter two numbers, store those values in the variables, scanf, %d, ampersand a comma ampersand b. Now here result equal to max of a comma b. Then display here printf max equal to %d slash n comma result. So here what happens, wherever we have used the code is max of a comma b, so this should be in capital letter because macro we have defined in capital. So max of a comma b, wherever we use, this code will be replaced here. So a greater than b, if it is true, a value will be assigned to result. If it is false, b value will be assigned to result. That is, the small functions we can define as macros. So the advantage with macros is, because, so if we write a function, what happens, control jumps to that definition, execute one line and returns back. Okay, it takes more time. So if it is a function is small, you can directly use macro. Now save your program, compile and run the program. So here result we have not defined, so declare res result. So save, compile and run the program. So enter two numbers 55 and 44. So max is 55. This is how to define a macro. Now, so the next concept we have undef, which is used to undefine a macro. Okay, so this is for example of hash define. Now in hash undefined, what happens is, suppose, say this example, here I will remove this part. Now you can see here, I will remove this code. So in this program I will use printf pi equal to %f/n comma pi. This is hash. Now save your program, compile and run the program. Displays pi equal to 3.14 something. Suppose I have defined this hash and I will undefine this hash, that is hash undef, what is that, pi. Now pi is undefined. Now here before displaying I will undefine this pi. Undef means once if you undefine, you cannot access that pi value. Save your program, compile and run the program. It gives error message, that is pi is undeclared, that is undefining. Undef is used for undefining a macro. Okay, so thank you for watching. So the other preprocessor directives I will create the separate video and I will share you. Okay, see you in the next video. If you have any doubts, please comment.